Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's Just Two Movies.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. In the studio with me this evening
is Dave.
Dave, what's shaking, brother?
Everything.
So, if this is your first time tuning in, what we do is we watch two movies. One of them's good, or at least one of us thinks it's good, and then the other one, maybe it's not good. You know, maybe it's maybe they've got something in common, and one of them's a poor example, and the other one's a better example, I guess. But Dave and I, we are covering the Marvel movies, and we thought how opportune that Thor Love and Thunder drops on Disney Plus on the 8th. Was it the 8th or the 9th? The 8th. September the 8th. So we watched it. I will say if you notice any differences about the audio quality in this episode, I am not spending a ton of time editing it. This is just going to get, cut properly and then fucking
sent to the press.
Slapped together and sent to the hot pod press, where they press all those sweet, tasty pods. So we're gonna do Love and Thunder and then Morbius. We're gonna see how that fucking turns out. I had not seen Morbius.
Yeah, I was wanting to see it before it got super trash, and then it got just wrecked. So I kind of just steered away from it.
right.
I thought about starting it a couple times.
I don't really want to waste an hour and 40 minutes of my life. So
yeah, so this is honestly a perfect time for me to want to watch it.
Good opportunity to get into it. So let's go ahead and kick it off with Love and Thunder. Real briefly, Dave, what would you tell people it's about without spoiling it?
Without spoiling it, I should have probably thought about this before coming on.
Yeah,
because I know it's every time.
Every single time, yeah. I put the onus on the bonus, baby.
Ooh, all right. So Thor: Love and Thunder. It's about Thor
and how he loves.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say it's about a man who is devout to gods, and he realizes his devotion is not viewed the way it should be in the eyes of his gods. So he denounces his gods, and that's the villain who ends up being cursed, and his curse, he uses it to then have power to kill gods. And the story is he denounces all gods, so he wants them all to die. And Thor does not want that.
Right. Thor does not want that. He wants to love.
And Thor
Jane
wants
Foster.
The power of love to conquer all.
Yeah, and Jane Foster's back. So Thor's like, oh man, it's Jane. But maybe she's a Thor.
Ooh.
Interesting. So from here on out, we are going to go full tilt spoilers into it. Briefly, before we get to that, though, I did want to say Thor Love and Thunder is a PG-13 2022 action-adventure film of 1 hour, 59-minute runtime. Has a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 65% on Rotten Tomatoes, 57% on Metacritic, 77% of Google users like this movie. Release date July 8th, 2022, directed by Taika Waititi. Budget $250 million US. I do not have the box office in front of me, but this does star Chris Hemsworth, Christian Bale, Natalie Portman, Taika Waititi, Chris Chinbale, Taika Waititi, Russell Crowe, Tessa Thompson, and Brett Goldstein, very briefly.
Yeah, I thought one of the weird things with this movie right off the bat was the genre classification, because I think Disney is pushing it as a rom-com.
Yeah,
I think on Disney Plus, the first one it says is romance.
Yeah, I would definitely say this is.
But then on everything else, it says action adventure.
Yeah, I would say it's a action rom-com
and sci-fi.
Yeah, well, yeah, and sci-fi, obviously. So I guess let's go ahead and get into it. I like the style that we've been doing lately, so what I'm going to do is just sprint through the entire story in like a minute.
Yeah, I really like that too.
And then we'll just kind of hit the highlights. So Thor, he's been running around with the Guardians of the Galaxy doing classic Thor missions, so he says multiple times in the movie.
Being a sad god.
He's being a sad boy. And he fucking gets a fucking call, and he's like, holy shit, somebody's slaying gods, and I gotta maybe Lady Sif, maybe she's dead, I gotta go find her. So he does, and she's like, "Oh God, it's a dude. It's the God Butcher, and he's got the Necro sword, and it's bad business." So Thor, he's gonna okay. I'm gonna find this fucking guy. Gonna get him. We're gonna figure this shit out. And he goes back to New Asgard. New Asgard is attacked by Gore the God Butcher, and he sees Jane there, and he's like, "Holy fuck!" She's like Thor. Mjolnir's like reforged or whatever, and they're like, "Oh my God, what happened?" So it turns out Jane has cancer, and Mjolnir is like, I guess, keeping her alive, giving her enough virality to stay alive. So they do a team up essentially and learn to bury the hatchet, and maybe they'll find love, but maybe Jane will just die because she has cancer. And the whole thing climaxes, and as all Marvel movies do, with the exception of one, has a pretty happy ending. What do you think about that?
Bada bing, bada boom. Movie over.
Yeah. Well, other post credits. But yeah, that essentially is the story of the movie. So, where do you want to go?
I'd say the only other big part is Gore's origin of him losing his daughter.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, the whole Gore thing is really good right up front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one thing that I marked down of something I really liked about the movie is the beginning. Like the first scene that you get of Gore and him losing his daughter, and even just the opening actual panning scene. Do you remember that? Where it's like an upside down shot of his shadow as he's walking forward, but the pan is going backwards, so it looks like the shadow is kind of walking forward. I really loved how they shot that. And I was just opening up the movie. I'm like, ooh, I'm in for a treat.
Yeah, that's cool looking. And I will probably come back to this several times during our review here. The Christian Bale stuff is great.
The only thing I did not care for is that just the way that he was changing his, like, between the Christian Bale, like between the person and the cursed person, you know what I'm saying?
The fleshy colored Christian Bale.
Yeah, but it was the accent and the way that he was talking. It was just like kind of all over the place, and I was kind of getting like 4 different people through how he was talking.
Yeah,
but I really like a couple ways that he portrayed it. Like I really liked how he was kind of being psychotic.
Yeah, I was really digging his whole psychotic approach to it. I thought it was good stuff. He's going a little hard in the paint with being a creeper. You know what I mean? When he's like scaring the kids and shit. But I was like, this is pretty good. When Gore, the God Butcher, he comes across the gods and they're feasting or whatever, and he's like, "We are celebrating a fresh kill. I killed the wielder of the Necro sword," and you just kind of see the corpse there. I'd have loved to see any more of that. Like, who was this other guy with the Necro sword? Like, what was he? Because he just looks kind of like black and slippery.
Yeah, the one thing I seen kind of broke down about it is that it was probably a Knoll that was still owned by Sony. So they didn't want to go into the background of the Necro sword being like a symbiote sword.
Right.
So it was still kind of a lot of that tied up in the Sony shit, I guess, before they made the total acquisition.
Yeah, I think so. And I like the way they took this approach with it. Instead of making the Necro sword a symbiote, that they made it this like weird shadow cursed object.
That had its own.
It still has a kind of a symbiote feel to it, but it's much more like supernatural.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like how they kind of tied in. It did have almost not a personality, but it had voices behind it. Like it had a drawing factor or something within it that was drawing Christian Bale's character Gore to the sword or to making his reconciliation.
Well, evidently there's at least one. I think I read multiple scenes that were cut from the movie that like really upset Christian Bale.
Oh yeah,
but they were like, it's too intense. Like it's too gritty for the tone of the rest of this movie. And I really think it would have benefited from a little more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that Christian Bale said he remembered filming one where he killed the guy from Sakaar, Jeff Goldblum, the Grand.
Oh, the Grandmaster?
Yeah, he said he remembered killing him, and then there was another person he remembered killing, but it didn't. It got left on the cutting room floor.
Damn, that's a shame. I'd have really liked to have seen that. So Christian Bale, he gets his Necro sword. Ooh, all gods will die. And then you get to like Thor on an alien planet hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like killing these little bird alien dudes.
Yeah, that was
I
really,
like those guys.
Those guys are insane looking. Like it's a little bit.
It's like a little jokey how crazy they look. Yeah. But they're fun and like screeching at each other and shit.
Yeah, and that's what they're going. Yeah, I did watch the. Actually, during the D23 release, when they put out Thor, they did put out the making of Thor, and I actually watched that last night. Oh. And Taika had a little piece on that to where, I forget what they called those bandits, but those bandits were supposed to be wearing masks, like owl masks, but during the designing of the characters, the mask that they created, he loved so much, he's like, that's the character.
He's like,
that is not a mask, that is the character.
Yeah, they're just little creepy bird dudes. No, I'm loving it. Another thing I thought was interesting is there's a bit right up front where Thor, he's like, I'm just gonna sit here and plant Stormbreaker in the ground, and I'm gonna if I could sit here and meditate until somebody's like, we need your help to win this fight, and then Thor, we need your help to win this fight. So he grabs Stormbreaker. In movie time, it had maybe like he just planted the handle of it in fucking 3 inches of dirt or whatever. Boy, it fucking put down roots like that. Which I thought was great, and then he mounts it and rides it like a witch.
Right.
There's a lot of jokey stuff. There's a lot of
zany. Jokey you can kind of expect, but I was not expecting all like kind of just the zany like stuff, off the wall goofy.
When he does the splits on those, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme, like very very late '80s, early '90s stuff going on here.
I did love in that opening scene with the owl people though. The Thor was protecting like the native race from these bandits, which were the owl people, and then Thor just wipes out the entire bandit population besides just the one on top of the there was like their just most like sacred tower, and Thor just wipes out the entire tower for that one last owl person
who probably would have just like shit himself and run away,
and just gave up anyway.
Yeah, but I thought that was that. I really like that. I like that opening scene. Thought that was good fun stuff. We get back to Earth. Jane has cancer, and she's obsessed with her work as her character
as she has always been. Yeah.
So she gets a brainwave, decides to check out like Mjolnir, and it's like
she sees
she's
a
like,
book
it's calling to me or whatever. So she goes to New Asgard. She's checking out Mjolnir, and it starts wiggling and glowing and all that shit, and it just like reforms, and then I guess when she grabs it, it turns her into a Thor, which we don't get any of that. But yeah, she's in New Asgard and she's Thoring it up, and then you have the scene where they're fighting the necro monsters or whatever you want to call them. Christian Bale's necro sword summons these weird
the living shadows,
creepy fucking bug monster shadow things. They're all kind of insecty sorta.
Do you want to know how they actually design those?
I would, yes.
I'll say Taika had his kid draw one of them, but then once he's seen it, he's like, oh, that'd be a great idea. He just had kids send in drawings of what they thought looked scary. So that's what they drew. Yeah, most of them were like insect-looking or spider-esque kind of, but yeah, they're just the shadow creatures.
Very cool.
Living shadows.
I like that. The stuff with Jane having cancer, by the way, I thought was done relatively tastefully.
Yeah.
Like her just in her like weakened state or whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, I had a headache for a while, and then one day I fainted, and it turned out I had stage 4 cancer. So she does not have a lot of time left.
Right.
So this bit about her having cancer and going to get Mjolnir and da-da-da-da, that's all comic. Just, peeled right from the pages.
What is Mighty Thor? Was she Mighty Thor?
Uh-huh. So they're trying to get Thor off that fucking planet, and they give him the screaming goats or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The giant screaming goats.
Oh, yeah. Tooth grinder and tooth gnasher?
Yeah, whatever. It's a 10-second joke that they play it too long, in my opinion. Not into those screaming goats. Maybe if they just didn't scream all the time, I would be like, whoa, that's actually pretty cool. But instead, they just annoyed me, and they're on there screaming a lot. You ever seen the screaming goat videos? Of course you have.
That's what it is.
It's that.
That's why they did it.
Yeah, for me, that's the one joke in this thing that I'm like, I wish that would have gotten taken out.
I'm not on the same page. I mean, maybe the way that I think it was just the the introduction scene because they had them scream so much.
Yeah.
But if they would have just like gave it the 1-2 scream, that's funny because now they're stuck with these screaming goats. But yeah, it was literally like the next couple minutes of scenes.
It's just them
they're
screaming
over the screaming goats. And I think
Yeah.
that's what made it too much too fast.
Yeah.
But like whenever they go to Omnipotent City, they like the goats break in the door and are screaming. That cracked me up that they were still screaming. They just everybody's like, "What the hell is that?"
Let's kill them. We could use them for meat. Ting people just to get them to meet
Just
people.
meeting people,
Yeah, some of the jokes in this, like a little on the nose. It's weird because this is my second watch. I watched it at the drive-in when it was still in theaters. And I liked it. And on the second watch, it's weird because I think I actually like it more. But I did find more things in it that I didn't like. But, again, at the same time, it's fucking subjective and it's a little comic book adventure and I don't really care.
Right.
I'm just, trying to go through it with a fine-tooth comb for the purpose of this podcast. Boy, oh fucking Sif is looking rough, hey?
Oh, yeah, she loses an arm.
Yeah. So they go to see...
I really liked... When Thor found Sif, I don't remember the name of that god that was slain.
Falagar.
Yeah, but that thing was fucking badass
That
looking.
thing
I
was
would like to
badass
see
looking.
the
And
fight between Gore and that.
That is straight up 1-to-1 ripped out of the pages of the comics. Like if you Google like Falagar Thor comics, like
that's the scene.
That scene is just a fucking
straight
drawing.
from it.
Yeah,
I
straight
see
from
why
it.
they took it.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like that's another thing that just makes the MCU so almost not easy to be crafted because clearly the DC can't do it too easily. But
Right.
you just have so much of that back catalog that you can pick and choose what worked and what didn't.
Where you want to put in, yeah, exactly.
And you had, they have had, what, 6 decades, or, a long time, multiple decades of,
Right.
top class writers writing scripts for them, essentially. Pick and choose what you want.
I like when Thor goes to get Sif, and she's had her arm cut off or whatever. That suit that he's wearing, it's like black leather with the fur on his cape. It's a different look than he's had in any of the other movies, and he only has it in this movie for 10 minutes. Fucking sweet look, though. I really, really dig it. Like,
Yeah.
That's a cool look. I kind of wish they would have stuck with that for the rest of the movie instead of the blue and gold. Like, I like the blue and gold. I think it looks good. I just think that other one looks way cooler.
Yeah, they had, in the making of Thor, Hemsworth said that this was the movie that he had the most costume changes.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that on the first watch. Like, if you asked me, I probably would have said, like 5. But he had over 30 different costumes in this.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And like on rewatch, you can like almost every time he changes like the way he looks. And the way that they were talking is that he's almost getting more flamboyant up until he gets to that blue and gold one, because that's whenever he's peacocking in front of Jane.
Gotcha. That actually makes a lot of sense. I'm loving that one when he goes to that fucking ice planet or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Oh man, it looks it's a cool look. It's very Thor fitting. It looks more Viking-esque. You know what I mean? In the classical sense. Okay, the blue and gold, I do like it.
How'd you like the helmet?
I fucking hate the helmet. I fucking hate the helmet. Wings are too big.
And he only wore it for a second.
It's too big. Yeah, good.
And that what he said? He said something like it's too claustrophobic or something and ripped it off.
Yeah.
And you can tell it was a physical helmet, unlike Jane's where they just CGI'd it. I liked how that looked though. Did you like that?
I think that's one thing that they cleaned up for the Disney Plus release, because in theaters I was like, that looks bad.
Whenever they showed Jane for the first time as Thor.
CGI helmet, I was like, that looks pretty shit.
Oh.
But then they've cleaned it up nice for the Disney Plus re-release. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff online where people are like, oh, they made the effects even worse. I didn't find that to be the case.
For this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of the VFX took me out of it. Yeah,
I don't either. Since I've seen so much of this shit on TV, this feels like a good time for a PSA for you movie lovers out there. On my TV and almost everybody's TV, when you get it from the manufacturer, they have a setting turned on usually turned on by default, called motion smoothing. Now, they might call it something else, but that setting for motion smoothing is for live sports. And it does a weird thing to special effects. And it makes them look bad, like a real bad.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. So you have to go into your TV settings and make sure that that is turned off. And I can tell you, for my TV at home, it is a instant noticeable difference. Like, if I turn it back on, I'm like, this fucking looks terrible. I don't know if it's something with the frame rate or what it is that motion smoothing does, but it really is noticeable. And I wonder if some of these people that are like, oh man, it looks worse. I wonder if they have motion smoothing turned on, because it really does. It makes them look bad.
Oh, have you heard of The Volume? It's Disney's studio that they created that has all the, I don't know if they're TVs or what, but it has all the screens. It's just like a huge movie set, or it's a big room, but it's a movie set to where all the walls and ceilings are screens, and then all the cameras are tracked by like the whatever VR and stuff uses and AR uses, to where whenever they're filming, like they can have the set up to where almost no CGI needs, like when Thor was on that first planet that we were talking about when he was fighting the owl people.
Yeah.
All of that was in that room, to where all of the background sky and lighting was all from
all that
those.
Shit's just on a screen.
Yeah, it wasn't VFX. It was all just screens, and then it lets the lighting just like make the filming even easier, because you don't have to mess with the lighting, because it's the lighting of whatever the hue is. If it's a sunset, you're actually getting that lighting casting down. But this is the first MCU movie that they're actually using that on. They what is Happy Hogan's name?
Happy Hogan.
John Favreau. He's actually
the
one that helped.
Man,
he's the one who actually helped invent this technology.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah, and they had the technology on like a smaller scale, but it's all open source. Just anybody can build it. He just actually did it first. But now they just have this crazy studio. Like, if you look into what they do, I can imagine if you're a filmmaker, it would just be so interesting in how they do it.
Oh yeah.
Because you just have no
limits.
Yeah.
If you can get a VFX guy to design it, just a graphic design guy.
Yeah, and the way they did it,
you make me this picture. Okay, deal. Boom. Now we're there.
And the way that it helps them make better movies is kind of like with Mando. They were able to, like, every episode, they made it digitally first. So there's an animated episode of Mandalorian out there to where all the actors knew exactly how they were supposed to kind of move and talk in the scene, to where once they got to it, it was almost like they already did it once, so now they can do it better. So their first try every time is off of like a huge incline, because they're able to see it done and kind of see how the whole episode is supposed to work. So they could see if this doesn't work, then we could fix it before we're actually even shooting it.
That's cool, man.
And that's probably why Mando is touted as some of the best, filmmaking, or I guess TV show making.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I keep hearing, man. I want to check it out, but I'm just gonna.
And it just makes it so cheap. They said they could change out a set in like 30 minutes instead of it taking like.
I'm gonna wait till I get like a sick day or a fucking snow day or something, and I just am not feeling like doing anything else, and I probably will just binge it. They go to Thor and Jane. They go to Mount Olympus. Not Olympus. What's it called?
Omnipotent City.
Omnipotent City. Yeah, like omnipotency. Omnipotent City. Yeah. Omnipotent City. So they go there and they're like, oh, we gotta talk to these other gods and warn them about Necro Sword guy. He's no good.
Right. They're trying to recruit a god army.
Right.
Go take down this butcher.
Yeah. You get some fun little cameo stuff like, check out this god and all these other old mythological beings and what have you. And there are some really cool ones in there, but Taika Waititi during an interview was like, there was supposed to be a pan to Jesus, but they wouldn't let him put it in. Yeah, I kind of thought,
because they made, or Tessa Thompson's character Valkyrie made the joke of, there's the god of carpentry, and that's the first thing I thought of is, I wonder if that was a play on Jesus. But if he said that, then I'm sure that's what it was.
Right? Yeah. No, he said it was supposed to be a quick pan in there, but it didn't make the cut. I thought that was great. I like the way Russell Crowe as Zeus. Okay, so 2 things about Russell Crowe as Zeus. Number 1, I think maybe that accent might be offensive to some people. Because I don't know what that accent is. And
it's supposed to be Greek.
Is it though? Because it doesn't sound Greek at all.
I forget what the other accent was, but they shot it with 2 accents.
It sounds like a guy making fun of someone who's Greek, is what it sounds like. But Zeus is he's a fucking prick. And I love that because...
Who's obsessed with orgies.
Because he is a prick, in legend. He's just a fucking self-centered asshole. So I thought that was a good playthrough. Do you have any other gods that popped up that you were like, oh shit? Bast, or Bast, maybe, from Black Panther, makes a brief appearance.
Yeah, and then I don't remember who it was, but it was the Aztec god. It's a weird name I probably couldn't even pronounce anyway, but it was the one that was all blue looking that had the huge headdress and was on like a gold throne. But
Quetzalcoatl?
Maybe. If I seen it spelled out, I could tell you.
Yeah.
But when they showed a close-up, they didn't show it in the movie, but in the making of, just how much effort they put into the character design to literally show him on screen for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And like they literally painted him to look like a mosaic art piece to where like it was glass, like each like little parts of his skin, and it just looks so amazing. And like when I looked at the movie the second time through, you can't even tell.
No, you
I'm
can't.
sure it took somebody so many hours to put that costume together.
They're probably pissed there wasn't a close-up in there of just him going like, just a nod, you know?
Then you remember what the Korg's god was called?
Oh, no.
Did you notice that pun that they slipped in there?
Yeah, because
him on a throne of scissors.
It's like the Iron Throne from fucking...
but
it's scissors.
And it's also the paper, rock, scissors joke from Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's not a throne of scissors.
You don't have to be scared unless you made a scissors. There's a rock, paper, scissors joke for you there. Korg was starting to feel like a little too much in this for me. I still did like a bunch of his jokes.
Taika's baby.
Yeah, I know. I did like a bunch of his jokes, but some of it was starting to like kind of wear kind of thin with me. It didn't make it to the breaking point where I'm like, all right, I fucking hate this now. But I don't know. I would say maybe let's not have another Korg cameo in the next couple.
Oh, you wish. I mean, only if Taika's not directing it will Korg not be in it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't know. Because Korg wasn't in Infinity War or nothing like that. And
he's in one of them when they
in the ship.
No, he's in Infinity War.
Was he in the ship when Loki got killed?
When they go to, no, they never show him in that. But when they go to get Thor for Infinity War, and he's just fucking drunk and fat.
Oh yeah. He's in New Asgard or wherever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So that's good stuff.
I liked pretty much all the Korg stuff. I really liked how they did Korg doing the narration of telling the God of Thunder like story at the beginning.
Yeah, to kind of that part I really did like.
To get you into the story, just a little recap, and then the recap at the end telling you the Mighty Thor story.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they did retcon because Korg said that he had a mother. And then in this movie, they retconned him into having 2 dads.
Yeah.
And now the way they kind of said it are all
Cronins are male, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got. But I'm sure that's what they meant. But did you see like the guy that Korg ends up getting with at the end to making a baby? Yeah. Dwayne.
Right.
The Rock.
Yeah, right.
Just Dwayne The Rock. Not Johnson. He's just Dwayne The Rock.
Yeah, he's just Dwayne The Rock. So there's a bit where Thor and Jane are on the boat, and they're kind of like confessing their love for each other, and Jane tells him she's got cancer.
Yeah,
and all that shit. You know which part I'm talking about? Very good writing. I really liked that part. I thought that was nice.
I felt like the whole movie had pretty good writing as far as... Because it wasn't that long, but as far as the story that they told between 3 different characters and like progressing it the way they did in under 2 hours is great.
Came together pretty well, yeah.
Yeah.
It feel like on the whole, I would say the movie feels a little rushed, but they put it together. You know what I mean? It's complete.
Oh, one thing whenever Korg was kind of telling his intro story about Thor, and he was saying how. There was one time that Thor loved a woman wolf on a wolf woman. That just cracked me up. But then at the end, you see like that lichen kid.
Yeah.
And that just made me think, I'm like, oh, it could be Thor's kid.
Just illegitimate. So you get some, towards the end, there's this through line where Gore the God Butcher like captures a bunch of kids from New Asgard, and he's got them, and that's how he's going to get...
kidnaps them because he wants Thor to bring the key...
Stormbreaker.
Which is Stormbreaker, too.
I like the way all of a sudden in this movie, it's like, no, fuck it, they're sentient. The Mjolnir because the look out, Stormbreaker's sneaking around a corner.
Did you like that?
Okay. I didn't not like it, but I didn't like the way they're like, yeah, fuck it, this exists.
It's canon. It's
canon. You're fucking 4 movies in. This is Thor 4, and it's the first time we hear anything about them being omnipotent. Not omnipotent.
Sentient.
Sentient. Yeah. That just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Did they ever? I don't remember if did they show Mjolnir being sentient. Like, did it have any reactions?
Not especially, no. But Thor talks to it the way he talks to Stormbreaker.
Yeah,
and
acts like it,
does,
talks back to him and stuff.
I guess it's maybe you could make the argument that because Stormbreaker's made out of
Groot's
arm, that maybe it has some sort of attitude.
On first watch, I did not care for it at all, and that was one of the biggest parts of the movie that took me out of it.
Yeah.
And it was almost the overplaying of it. Like, the first time they did it, it was a funny joke, but it was, the overplaying and, Stormbreaker kind of levitating in and doing the slow turn.
Like it's jealous or whatever.
Right. Which is funny, but I feel like the whole movie was funny. You don't need that.
You shouldn't just make it canon 4 movies down the road.
Right.
You know what I mean? If there had ever been any indication of it prior at all, I would be okay with it, and I would think this is fucking hilarious, but it's a little late for that exposure, I guess.
Yeah.
So they get to where the kids are. They've got the kids, and Thor, he's got fucking Zeus's lightning bolt, which is very helpful. And then he tells all the kids, like, I don't know, pick up a weapon, just any old thing. And then he imbues all their weapons with the power of Thor. Yeah.
For a limited time.
For a limited time only. So that tree that you see that
sprouts out,
that's called Yggdrasil. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but that's like the tree of life in Norse mythology. And it's how they explain the 9 realms too.
I didn't know if that's what they were going with that, because I definitely got either like a tree or a root system, so I didn't know if it was kind of Thor evolving in his character sense, so where now he's looking to train more, he's looking to be the father figure more, to spread his knowledge, or if it was kind of just the tree of life of him giving.
Yeah, I think it's just a nod to the Norse like source material that Yggdrasil's a thing in that culture or whatever. I did like the way that it played out, though. It looked good. It's cool, like watching all these kids fucking
I
slay
thought that
all
was
these
a really fun final battle scene for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. I thought it was weird that the one Heimdall's kid,
Axel,
cannot remember his name.
How can you not remember Axel?
Well, Axel's the part that I remember, but I think it's fucking so weird that like a 14-year-old kid would be like, "Call me Axel," because of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah,
in present day 2021, that a kid that age would be like, fuck yeah, Guns
N'
Roses.
To an extent though, but I mean, a lot of kids, especially...
He's doing a Fortnite dance, don't lie.
Yeah,
It'd be like, call me Fortnite.
But I feel like now is almost the perfect time, because whenever we were growing up, it was almost like all the fads would almost come in waves to where only certain things would be popular or in fashion.
Yeah.
But now entire decades are in fashion, so it doesn't matter if you're dressing like your 80s or 90s or early 2000s, like it's all in fashion.
Yeah, that's
true. You just have to have that fashion. So, but they did show Axel having a Guns N' Roses poster in his room. I remember seeing that because they played, I don't remember which Guns N' Roses songs, but they played quite a few Guns N' Roses songs throughout this movie.
Yeah.
But that's where I assume he got Axel from, was Axl Rose, the guitarist.
Yeah, and somebody else says like GNR or what, like in the background or whatever.
Just chanting them.
Yeah. There are a couple of bits where they kind of drop the veil with Jane being sick. Like, she'll drop Mjolnir, and then she'll be, like, back in her regular human form, and she just, like, can barely stand up, and she's all fucked up, and cancer's just a whooping her ass. So I guess Mjolnir just gives her all this extra stamina and, like, energy, I guess?
What my guess is like the curse, or not the curse, whatever, the blessing, whatever Odin put on it that gives the people the power of Thor. I assume just whatever that power is just essentially giving her a transformation to where she's almost leaving her cancer form and going into God state form.
Right.
But the only thing that I didn't really get is, like, she can throw Mjolnir and not lose her godly form, but like when she dropped it those two times, she reverts back instantly. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was almost like a.
Well, I think when she throws it, that's technically a form of wielding it. Like,
yeah,
you're
she's
using
still
it how it's
feeling
supposed
it,
to be used.
and she's
I guess it's
drawing
because
it back.
Yeah, that tandem interaction or whatever might be what's.
Yeah, but
when she has that moment of weakness in the bathroom, it's just like she just fucking drops it.
Yeah.
So I guess a drop is more like a throw is like doing it with authority, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and kind of the way that she throws it is almost like throwing it with a string on it, where she's throwing it and then calling it back. But then if you drop it, you're
so. I want to talk about this. I fucking love this. The way it like breaks apart.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like a flechette rain kind of thing. So the hammer, because it was broke by Hela. When Jane throws it, it like splits into all these other pieces, and it's like fucking shotgun fire.
Right. And each one is just flying around independently, and then she calls them all back, and then
they
fucking
which also cool way to break the necro sword at the end, or towards the end.
I didn't really get that at the end, because she broke the sword, and then whenever all the pieces were coming back into the hammer, some of the pieces came back into the hammer.
Correct.
And then that's whenever it started to like
and then
respawn or what, or like it started to.
Certain pieces of it were getting called back to the necro sword, so it was going to do what Mjolnir does essentially,
right, and reassemble.
And she called down all that lightning with those pieces of the necro sword in it.
Yeah, and I thought she destroyed
did that ground
Mjolnir.
Smash, and then she destroyed it.
Yeah, but I thought she was like the way that it showed, or the way that scene played. I thought she was destroying the hammer to then in turn destroy the necro sword.
Gotcha.
But then, in the next couple scenes, you see
the hammer's
Mjolnir
still
back,
fine.
and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So the hammer's still fine. It just like, I guess with those pieces, because that thing's not meant to wield lightning, the necro sword.
Right.
It's meant to wield shadows. So I guess that is part of what destroyed it or whatever. Either way, I thought it was played up cool. It looked fucking badass. Great, yeah, I was invested in it. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot what happens here. What's going on?
And then the God Butchers. I guess his main goal was to interact with eternity, because he has heard the first person to interact with him gets one wish.
Yeah. And what does he wish for?
He was going there to wish for all the gods to be dead.
Right.
But then he gets that necro sword curse broken, and he goes in there, and Thor tries to convince him, you can wish for her back. The person you're avenging, instead of avenging her, you could just bring her back.
Right.
And that brings in the whole consistence of love. And Thor's not going to dick with Gore anymore. He's going to spend the last moments he has with Jane.
Yep. And it's lovely. And then Christian Bale, even though the sword's killing him, or even though the sword doesn't exist anymore, it's still killing him. Like he's still dead man walking. Yeah. So he does wish his daughter back. They have a little lovely scene there, and then now.
What did you think of that scene though? Because like when they pan down to view Gore as he's laying in water, and then you see the reflection of eternity in the water,
and it turns into
the girl, so showing that the reflection of Gore's daughter now has the reflection of eternity, which would just be, and then Korg says she was born of eternity.
Yeah.
So I assume
seems like she just is eternity.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It's not that eternity brought his daughter back, but that eternity just took the form of his daughter.
Yeah.
And fun note, did you know who the actor was?
Yes. That's Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
True. And did you know that Christian Bale's kid Natalie Portman's kid and Taika Waititi's kids were all in this as well.
I did, yeah, as the Asgardian kids.
Yep. And then did you see when Thor's son was in it another time?
Oh, yeah.
In the flashback as young Thor. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really fun to make it a kind of family fun experience for everybody.
Put your fucking kids in it. Hey, you want to be in a Thor movie? Are you fucking kidding me? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, be in a fucking Thor movie, baby.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome if you were a kid. So, yeah, I mean, that's essentially the whole thing beat for beat. What do you think for big dumb winged helmet thumbs?
If I had to give it a bunch of wings, I have to give it a bunch. I can't just give it a few.
Yeah.
A bunch of wing thumbs. I'm going to have to give it 7 whole ones.
Ooh. And
then just 2 feathers off of it. So good 7.2.
7.2. All right. You know what? I was going to go 7.5. So
7.5?
7.5.
You're giving it 3 feathers more.
I get three extra feathers from the Viking helmet thumbs. Yeah, so I had fun with it. It's no Ragnarok.
It is no Ragnarok,
but I think it's fun. Visually, it is maybe more entertaining.
I feel like the biggest problem I had with it, or maybe that could have made it a better movie, is that it was just all over the place on genres. Like, it was a little bit horror-esque. I feel like if they would have went the horror way of Gore's character, that would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and then,
like,
because you've got Thor and he's so, like, light and jovial now, you know what I mean? And then just have this, like,
sinister,
terrifying, straight up fucking evil. Yeah, that would have been great. I would have loved that. I still would really love to see those deleted scenes that Christian Bale had. That were cut. I would really love to see that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for Thor: Love and Thunder. We're going to go watch another movie that's probably not as good as Thor: Love and Thunder.
It's probably going to be my new favorite vampire movie.
You think?
I hope so.
So, I mean, you can read it in the title card, but it's Morbin time. So we will be right back.
We're gonna get up in it, boy.
Wait.
Buckle up. It's fucking Morbin time. We're getting mighty Morbin.
Morphin Rangers.
Morphin Rangers. We watched Morbius. It's a 2013, a PG-13 2022 action fantasy movie. Hour 44-minute runtime, 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 15% Rotten Tomatoes, 35 on Metacritic, 63% of Google users like this movie. Release date April 1st, 2022, directed by Daniel Espinosa, box office $163.9 million. That's fucking crazy. Stars Jared Leto, Matt Smith, Daria Arjona?
Sure.
Arjona, I think. Michael Keaton's in it for 2 seconds. Tyrese Gibson, Jared Harris, and Al Madrigal.
And that's the movie. Thanks for watching.
That's the movie. Until next time, as we say at the end of every episode of It's Just Two Movies, get Morbin. What'd you think of Morbius, Dave?
I mean, I was honestly expecting it to be worse from the ratings. And just from what people were saying.
Yeah.
Which, it was a bad movie. I mean, it wasn't good.
It's just slow. There's not a lot.
It was so slow.
There's not a lot going on.
And a lot of movies that I feel like go from either being a bad to good or good to great is the writing. Like, a lot of the filmography and everything of this movie was shot really well. I thought it was done pretty well. It was just the writing. And
I even liked some of the effects. But there were a lot of them that I did not like.
Yeah.
Mostly the vampire faces.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. And almost like they were morphing into a werewolf without the fur. That's kind of what I felt like with the face.
Yeah. The Morbius vampire. Okay, I guess they put a little more TLC into it, I think, than the Matt Smith version, because that Matt Smith vampire thing is bad. It's not a good look. Doesn't look good. There are no scenes in which you're like, that looks okay. It doesn't. It looks bad every time. And they do it a lot. Yeah. And I think they really done him dirty, because they could have just left it off almost the whole time.
Yeah, or they could have even just kind of done like the Twilight thing to where he didn't have to really morph his body. Yeah. He could have just kind of did like the Gore God Butcher thing to where he just got pastier skin or something.
Yeah, that would have worked too.
Or maybe sharper teeth.
Yeah. They didn't have to go that hard, but you know what, they did. So I think let's you and I go hard as well. What would you say this is about, Dave?
This is about a child who is super smart, who is diagnosed with a rare, I don't even remember how they explained it, but it's a rare blood disorder that...
Yeah, it's like a genetic disorder.
Yeah, it's a genetic disorder that he's missing some type of his genome, and other people have this type of disorder.
It's the part that can act, is what...
I got him.
Got him.
But, so they realize at a fairly young age that this kid is gifted. So they end up, the doctor or the whatever the character is, the father-like figure of the character ends up enrolling him in another school who gets him a full ride. He becomes a doctor and he devotes his whole life to figuring out a cure for his ailment.
Dr. Michael Morbius, vampire PhD.
And that he turns himself into a vampire. His long life friend, who is also dealing with a similar ailment, also injects him with the cure, quote unquote cure,
which makes
and then now you got a good vampire, bad vampire. Let's fight him out. That's the end of the movie.
Really, really classic superhero trope where it's like you get your hero,
the villain gets the same
quote
powers,
unquote, and then the villain gets the same powers, and he has to fight another himself. So nothing really interesting to report as far as that goes. I like the Matt Smith stuff when he's not got that vampire face. For me, actually, I thought he was...
What is he from? Do you know him from anything else?
Yeah. He's in Last Night in Soho. He is in House of the Dragon. And what I knew him from first was I think he's like the 5th Doctor in Doctor Who. Or no, he's the 3rd Doctor. Yeah, I believe
he was he was the Doctor in Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for several seasons.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was or who he's been, but yeah, I liked him in this.
Yeah, check out Last Night in Soho. Great film. It's a giallo, so it's like a sci-fi mystery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, seems right up my alley.
Like horror mystery kind of thing, you know what I mean?
He is uncredited in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
I wonder if he's a Morbius. If he's just in the background. If he morbs and he's just there for a second. Just weird shit. The post credit,
most entertaining part of the movie.
The post credit thing, maybe the most entertaining part of the movie. You see the multiverse rip from No Way Home, like the multiverse rip in the sky from.
Is that what you think
Spider-Man
it was?
No Way Home? Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know.
And then
that's kind of what it made me feel like, but I didn't know if.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. But it's purple instead of red. I think it might have been red in the other Spider-Man. I don't recall. Anyway, that part less important. But you get Michael Keaton back as
Vulture.
Tommy. I can't remember his first name. Adrian Tomey as the Vulture, and he comes back and he's like, Dr. Michael Morbius, thanks for meeting me out here. We should talk about maybe this is Spider-Man.
Maybe it's Mr. Spider-Man next to me.
Maybe we're gonna have ourselves a little Spider-Man problem. Thinking maybe it could have been Spider-Man. And Dr. Michael Morbius is like,
maybe we should team up, eh?
Maybe we should do a team up. Maybe get like 4 more guys, and we'll be a bunch of sinister 2 plus 4 guys.
Like Sinister 5. That sounds good.
Yeah, maybe we could fight Spider-Man. I like the way, like, at the very end, they never take the mask off, and like, I'm thinking to myself, they just didn't get Michael Keaton back for this. Right. They recorded this over a phone call. He was like, yeah, put me up to the mic. And just fucking
you want me to say Spider-Man?
I think maybe it could have been something to do with Spider-Man. Fucking what? This movie makes a lot of weird story choices, and there's bits where I fucking hate Jared Leto. All right, not a fan. I fucking hate him more as a scientist when he just says shit that's like, when he's like, vampire bats can take down a large animal. No, they can't. They can't. That's not true. That's not true at all.
But this is not on your Earth. These are not
Fucking
the
obviously.
vampire bats that you're accustomed to.
Okay.
These vampire bats
These are Morbius bats.
can drink at least 36,000 gallons of blood a day.
Fucking crazy. And they stay so small. Instead of
Right.
turning like
They
giant
can have
water
18
balloons.
elephants worth of blood a day.
You ever slap a mosquito and you're like, oh, it was full. You know what I mean? It just had a full belly.
Full bat of blood
Oh,
just
yeah.
being smacked around.
So he's got artificial blood, this Michael Morbius, and when he's Morbin and he's turned into a Morb, he's like, I gotta drink that artificial blood to keep my shit together. But it's not working. It's not gonna work forever.
Did he say it's Morbin time in this movie?
No.
I thought he did. I thought that was a part of the meme thing.
Yeah, that is a part of the meme. So
But I thought
like,
he actually said it in the movie.
yeah, my favorite part of the movie Morbius is when he goes, it's Morbin time. Because it's not in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty funny. I wish he would say it's Morbin time.
I
don't
just
know.
assumed it was a phrase from the comics or something they threw in the movie to be,
Right.
comedical, but no.
The like smoky effect.
Like while they're moving fast?
Yeah, while they're moving fast. I liked the way that it looked, but in this movie, I was like, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I liked how the effect looked, but I didn't like how they overall did it because
How'd
of
you think
how
about
it...
How'd you think about his muscular ears?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice his muscular
I
ears?
did notice Jack Boy Jared, though, once he got his... With the genome splicing cure. He got
hell
Jack
yeah.
Boy.
Here, let's see here. Let me pull up a picture.
Yeah, I
of
was
his
wondering
fucking-
before that scene that he showed off his Jack body whenever he was like Dallas Buyers Club fucking scrawny.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering, I'm like, I wonder if he lost all
Here's
that
his-
weight for the movie.
His fucking muscular
Oh,
ears.
damn, he's got abs in his ears.
Pretty much, yeah. I actively disliked the muscular ears bit. I thought the effect with the eyeballs actually looked all right.
I thought it looked really cool other than just not knowing, like his eyes would go white whenever he would kind of use his sonar.
Yeah.
And then they would go like that red, brown, or dark color when he was just raging. But why did it go white? I liked how it looked for sure.
I don't know. It was a cool look. It didn't make
Yeah.
a lot of sense as far as like what is canon for this movie because I don't think anybody knows or really
Right,
cared.
and they don't explain anything. It's
So
just like
evidently when they were filming this, Jared Leto was because he's a method actor. So when he's got those crutches, he's
He
like,
was
"Oh, I
living
gotta
his
go
life
to
with
the
crutches.
bathroom," and they're like, they have to stop filming for 30 fucking minutes because he's like walking. So like, dude,
Yeah, he's
you're holding
pretending
up
like-
everybody. Just come the fuck on, bro.
Yeah, I understand mething acted like the month before you're actually going to set because you're trying to get to feel
Get
more
into that character, yeah.
Yeah, or even get more mantras that you might kind of put through, or different like just
Yeah, but
aesthetics of what
This-
you're trying
just-
to put off.
You're
But yeah,
wasting
if you're,
everybody's time. You're
if you're
slowing
doing
down
it on
production.
set while everybody's waiting on you, it's kind of just douchey.
Yeah, it is super douchey. It was like so I guess somebody approached fucking Mads Mikkelsen, and he's like, Mads Mikkelsen said about Morbius, he's like, somebody asked him like, hey Mads, what do you think about method acting? And he was like, I think it's a waste of time because you spent all that time and energy doing that, and you made a pretty shit movie. So
I mean, I understand method acting, like I said, kind of
Yeah,
before you're going to set
Right,
to
right.
kind of feel your character and get more involved in your character.
yeah, that I'm on board
But
with.
as far
that's
as like
reasonable.
staying in character 24/7, like some people that
That's
do that
insane.
type of method
It's
acting,
insane.
there's no reason for it.
No,
That's
no.
how you get to some suicides.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And I just can't imagine like trying to be the director or somebody who's like trying to get
Right. Yeah.
because you've got fucking 50 people all firing on the same cylinders
Yeah,
to try to get this
everybody's
thing
trying
to
to
happen.
get yeah.
And then you got this fucking jack off who's like extending your workday by several hours every single day.
Yeah, and it's not
because
just
he's-
one person. You're extending 50 people's workday
Right.
just because you act like you can't walk.
They did do a really good job of making him look like little and gross, and you know what I mean? Like he was.
Yeah, that's one thing I was kind of getting at. I didn't know if he actually lost the weight before they showed him getting jacked because I guess the CG did look so good that I just couldn't tell.
Right.
It did
yeah.
look good. He did look like a scrawny little sick guy.
Right. Yeah, also probably bad timing to release this post-pandemic. You know, just a guy fiddling around with bat blood or whatever. It's just...
Yeah, but I mean, bats had nothing to do with pandemic.
That's true. That's true. They weren't out there coughing on people. Jesus. So the fucking he's Morbin about, he's learning his powers, but when the first time he turns into Morbius, he just kills a whole boat full of people. But it's okay because they're bad guys.
That's essentially what the movie is trying to kind of portray. Like, we don't really care about the murders on the boat. We're just more worried about the American doctor on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Not all the actual people who were killed.
Yeah, we just want to know what happened with Dr. Michael Morbius.
Which is probably, honestly, a little bit more...
And his assistant, or his like research
correct
assistant or
to
whatever.
the government.
Whatever. Yeah, what?
It's probably more correct of how the government would actually view that.
Right.
Is
like,
oh,
we
there
don't
was
really
a bunch
give a shit
of
about
Somalians? Oh, we don't care about that. The one American who was on there, who
what's up with
survived
that?
still?
Yeah.
Why was she there?
Well, she survives, and then at the end, she gets a drop of Michael Morbius blood in her mouth, and now she's a Morbius. Did you catch that bit at the very end?
Huh.
Where
No, I caught that she got the blood, but I didn't see the...
Oh, she, like, wakes up and flies.
I missed that completely then.
Yeah.
She woke up and flew?
It was like a 2-second. He didn't miss much. Like, her eyeballs snapped open, and then she, like, did the smoke fly.
Oh, just to show that vampires are here to stay. They're not gone.
Oh, they're fucking just spreading. They're popping up all over the place, these Morbiuses.
Yeah, I mean, the MCU's been hinting at vampires for a little while now, and got that Blade teaser and Eternals. So, aren't they doing a Werewolf by Night, or they're doing something for Halloween? They're doing a Halloween special?
I don't know. I hadn't heard anything about that. I'm really excited about Blade, though, which is going to start filming, I think, in the next couple of months.
Yeah, we actually didn't mention it, but yeah, this will be the last episode for the Thor saga. Is my turn to choose next?
Yeah, you pick the next...
Yeah. I got the next one in mind if you want to tease it.
Yeah, what do you got? What do you think?
I think the next saga we're going to do about a little man.
A little Ant-Man?
A little man... Maybe of the ant variety.
Maybe. Sometimes he's a big man.
Sometimes he's gigantic.
Sometimes he's a gigantic man. I'm down for that, man. I already own them, and then we should.
Yeah, I feel like
we should be right about time for Quantumania.
Yeah.
So that'll work out.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, and I feel like Ant-Man, the first one, I really loved it.
I like the second one too.
Yeah. I don't really recall the second one because I'm pretty sure I've only seen that once, and it was right before Infinity War, and all of anything that I watched before Infinity War was just wiped out because Infinity War took all my mental thought.
Took all your mental space. Yeah. That'll be a fun one to go through. So what else? You got anything else on Morbius? I mean, I'm not entirely sure what else to say about it.
Did we give it a rating yet?
No, not yet. But I'm like, is there anything before we get to the rating? Because I'm like, look, I didn't like a lot of the acting. I didn't think the acting was too bad. I feel like they didn't have a script to really go off of. I didn't like Jared Leto because I just don't like Jared Leto.
I feel like you're just hating Jared Leto. He wasn't that bad.
You're right. I am just hating Jared Leto. And maybe he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, to that extent, that is easy. Like, if you don't like an actor, like
every time I see him, I'm like, this
even
fucking
if he's
guy.
good, like, he can't.
Yeah. The Matt Smith stuff I thought was okay. A lot of the effects, bad. Don't like them. Adria...
I didn't like
Arjona. I thought she was fine, but she's barely in it.
Yeah.
Tyrese Gibson, like, whatever.
He's always the same.
His role wasn't even anything. That Al Madrigal, who plays Tyrese Gibson's partner.
Yeah,
he was. I don't know what he was going for, but I think it's a miss. Jared Harris, maybe my favorite role in it.
Was he the?
He's the
dad figure,
the father figure. Yeah, the Dr. Michael Morbius's doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Morbius' doctor.
Yeah, please, Dr. Morbius was my father's name. Call me Michael Morbius,
Call
the
me
living
Mr.
vampire.
Dr. Morbius.
Mr. Dr. Morbo. Yeah, just a bunch of that stuff. I was just.
I thought a lot of the CG looked.
It's just not anything. Like, it just is.
I thought the CG looked really good. I just thought
a bunch of it
the
did.
way I thought whoever was telling them what to do like the direction was wrong. I feel like whoever the artist was that was told to, hey, make this look like that, they did great. But just whoever told them the direction to go was off.
I bet a bunch of it was Avi Arad. Avi Arad's had a hand in fucking up a lot of properties.
Is that a CG production company or what is?
No, Avi Arad's a guy. He's fucking old as shit. He's a film producer and became the CEO of the company Toy Biz. He produced a lot of the Spider-Man movies, and most recently the best thing that he's ever worked on was Into the Spider-Verse, and I think he would make suggestions and they would ignore like 90% of it. They took a couple of pieces from him because he's like Spider-Man alum, you know.
And if he's a producer, you got to listen.
Yeah, he's got some interesting input, but he's had a lot of hand in making a lot of comic book property things that are not great. Or like, I wouldn't even say not great, but of all the Spider-Man things that are out there, if you were to sit down and actually rank them all, I think you would find that all the ones at the bottom of the list, Avi Arad is the producer. Like on all of them. And the best ones he is much less involved with. So I'm not sure what his fucking exact role is, but I know that he's definitely had a hand in I wouldn't even say like fucking up, just taking the wind out of the sails for some stuff that hypothetically could have been better, but you know, we'll never know. So I guess let's rate this. How many Morbs? If you had 10 thumbs and all your thumbs are Morbiuses,
I would have
dumb ass looking Morbiuses.
All right, how many buff ears? I will give it.
Yeah, how many muscular ears?
How many jacked, ripped Jared ears can you give it? I mean, it's gonna get more than half of them. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You might not like that, but I'm gonna give him more than half of them.
Yeah, I am too.
But not much more.
It's not terrible like everybody says it
right,
is.
And what I was expecting. So maybe that
it just isn't
skewed me a little higher.
Yeah, it just really isn't. I don't know. It just doesn't,
it's just a movie.
It doesn't do much. Yeah, it is just a movie.
Yeah. But I am gonna give it 5 entire jacked thumbs plus 4 veins.
Okay.
So good. 5 whole 4.
5.4?
5.4.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll give it 5.5. It's not interesting. I don't like the casting. The one thing that you've got when you're doing a Morbius movie is the look of the vampire, and it's a huge fumble for me. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. He doesn't necessarily look scary. He just looks like I don't know. There's shit on The Walking Dead that's more compelling.
Yeah, and almost like if you've seen him, you would think that he was the fuck off of the vampire race or whatever you're calling that race. You're thinking he's just the fuck off.
Just the worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd be like, oh, that Dr. Michael Morbius, what a shitty vampire. And it's weird because like Matt Smith's vampire, he's got his vampire face on and he's having a conversation. But Michael Morbius, when he's Morbin time...
Yeah, he's just
he's just a monster.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't, I think once he actually says something in Morbius form or whatever, but it's like 2 words, like, oh no, or I don't fucking know what it is. But the other guy talks, and then Morbius is just like, he's just
the other
monster.
guy kind of has in-between phases, too, to where he's kind of transforming, like his face is just like halfway in between.
Yeah. Not crazy about any of that stuff. Yes, 5.5. You said what? 5.4?
5.4.
Yeah, 5.5, 5.4. Pretty sound. Next segment of the show.
Hey, what you watching?
What you been watching, Dave?
Me?
Yeah, you. What you getting into?
You know I don't watch things.
What you getting into?
Who
you been listening to? Who been playing?
I watch things sometimes.
I know you've been playing Pokemon Unite, though. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were like, I see you haven't been playing Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, the only reason why I noticed you haven't been playing is because they started a new season, and once that starts, you lose your rank, and then you have to play at least 1 match to have any ranked matches played, and I've seen you have still yet to have any ranked matches played this season. Yeah. But no, yeah, I usually jump on a couple matches every day. but I usually don't. I mean, each match is only 10 minutes, so I usually don't play more than an hour a day, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'll put in 5 or plus hours a week, you know. But,
right.
So I'm a consistent player, but I don't play super heavy.
Been pretty busy this week. You know, honestly, I don't think I played Turbo Golf Racing for like 2 hours, and that is all the video games I've had time to play all week. So they're super short matches. Like the races are normally like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and there's 3 races and it's like a Grand Prix or whatever where it's 3 races and then, you know, trophies or whatever. I have not been playing shit this week. I have been watching the fucking Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How many episodes they got out of that? I checked out the first one.
I think as we're recording this, I think there are 3 out now, and I've watched 2.
I'll say, I checked out the first one, and I think they released the first 2 at once.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was?
I think so, because whenever I checked out the first one, it started automatically playing the second one, but I ended up tuning out because I was going to sleep. But the first one was good. It was
effects look pretty great. There are some stuff that I'm like, I don't know, you know, I'm not like blown away by it, but I'm gonna stick around. I think I'm gonna keep watching it.
That's intriguing.
I'm gonna see how the rest of it goes at the very least. I am on my watch list. What I got coming up, I am going to start watching the new season of What We Do in the Shadows next week.
Oh, nice.
And I've got a comic coming in the mail called God's Country. And just a sci-fi comic book, like graphic novel adventure.
Didn't you say a movie's coming out with that movie?
There's a movie also coming out called God's Country. I don't think they have anything in common. But...
That's strange, though. Yeah, you did just mention that's coming out, and now you're reading the book?
Yeah, I'm going to read the book. It was
Welcome to God's Country.
Recommended to me by a listener, and I'm pretty pumped to get it and fucking dig into it. So I'm looking forward to that one.
That's good. When's the last time you've gotten something like that you've been pumped for? I'll say I haven't had anything like that in a while.
A comic? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Probably since we started doing this podcast, and it took me forever to finish Watchmen. I was really pumped about that, but then when I got into it, I'm like, God damn, this thing is fucking dense. And when you have the trade, I already kind of know the story. So it's like I kind of had to force myself to read it. Yeah, if I had never read it or had no idea what fucking happened, it would have been a real page turner. But I did know, and I'm very busy. So it's like I had to make myself sit down and read it for an hour and a half or, you know, what have you. But no, I'm excited to get in something that I don't know anything about and to just kind of fucking dive in head first, see how it goes. Yeah, the listener that recommended it to me, we chit-chat a little bit online.
Listeners from this?
Yeah, his name's Raymond.
Oh, shit, I didn't think anybody listened.
Right.
Oh,
I thought these were just for the private
it was
collection.
Just me and you talking here.
No, I believe his name's Raymond. Seems like he's got great taste. So I'm like, well, you know, the whole book, it's like a finished run.
Yeah, I heard everybody loves Raymond.
The whole book was $11. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll fucking dip in on that for $11.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
For a whole run.
Yeah, but that's called God's Country. That's what I've got coming down the pipe. As far as stuff to watch, I'm looking forward to checking out Bodies, which I hear like some of the reviews are like not great for it, but it's an A24 like comedy slasher, and I'm up for that. I believe it's got like a comedy.
Why do I feel like I've heard of that? Is anybody?
What, Bodies? Yeah, not really. There's not really anybody like super notable in
Nobody tagged to it. No.
Not particularly.
I don't know why I've heard of that, or I feel like I have. You've been checking out She-Hulk? I did watch that. Yeah.
I have been watching She-Hulk. Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, we both watched it and just both forgot about it. It's kind of telling you how it is already.
Yeah, yeah.
I was surprised with how short the episodes are because each episode's only 30 minutes.
I think that's why I'm like,
that's why it's kind of hard to.
If you're out there and you're still on the fence about getting into She-Hulk, I would maybe just wait till it's over and just
binge it as a movie.
Binge the whole thing as a movie because it probably would have made a better movie.
That's what I think.
Than what they're doing.
That's what I've been thinking.
It seems like it's silly that I'm waiting a week to watch this 18-minute fucking thing because it feels like nothing.
Right.
Because I put it on and it's over.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that also speaks to kind of how it is good because it's not being, because it is 30 minutes. It's not the 18 or like how some of the 30-minute episodes with commercials are. Yeah,
something
18,
about it
just
makes it feel like an 18-minute thing, though. You know what I mean? Something about the way it's pace or maybe the comedy that's in it.
Yeah.
It feels
So far,
super sharp.
I've liked it way more than what everybody's rating it. Like, I don't know why it's getting trashed so bad. But the only thing I could think of is that they were kind of touting it as like a murder or like a case of the week type show, kind of like a CIS or type of that show.
Yeah.
But then they
It's not
haven't got into that at all.
No.
And if it's only going to be 6 or 8 episodes, it's already over halfway done, you know?
Yeah. So you're obviously not going to get that. And I would have loved that.
Yeah, and I
She-Hulk
think
Attorney
that's
Law,
what...
just a case of the week kind of thing. Maybe she's got to do a little beat up every other episode or whatever.
Yeah, and maybe they're trying to get this to a multi-season show to where, you know, if you spend half the first season setting it up, it's not as bad if you're looking 20 episodes down the line.
Yeah.
But looking for the first season of 6 episodes, it's pretty bleak, I guess.
Yeah, I really like the casting though.
How do you like for the Jennifer Walters character, the She-Hulk character?
Yeah, Tatiana Maslany, love her. I think she's great as Jennifer Walters. That you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't know her name, so I'm just taking you on your word that is her name.
Her name is Tatiana Maslany.
Tatiana, I can get behind Tatiana.
I like the way she's like, oh, it's not going to be a cameo every week. It's not that kind of show, but it definitely is.
It has been, yeah.
Well, and I've seen some trailers. It looks like Wong's in another episode, so he's coming back. And
yeah, well, Wong's been kind of...
look who's coming in this episode.
Did you see who's coming the next episode? Because they put out the teaser.
Fucking Daredevil.
Morbius.
Morbius.
No,
he comes into the courtroom and he says, "It's Morbin time."
It's fucking Morbin time. Catch me now, bitch.
He does a big smoky jump.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be the devils that is daring.
I'm excited for that. I like the yellow and red suit.
Yellow and red suit.
Yeah.
From who?
Daredevil?
He got yellow and red suit?
Yeah, you didn't see on the teaser thing? It didn't show you the suit? But anyways,
what?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the teaser.
Oh.
The only way that I get spoiled, because I usually don't watch the teasers and stuff, is literally from thumbnails on YouTube.
Spoiled you, Dave. Double middle fingers, spoiled it for you.
But is that a new suit from the series then?
Well, it's like the original comic book suit when he was red and yellow.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah. So they're doing it as like an homage to the origin source material. It's the same suit from the show. It's got a color change. It's a little bit different, but mostly the change is just color related. Yeah, I really like Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, so I'm really glad that he's gonna keep doing it.
Is that the actor's name?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the made-up alias name.
Charlie Cox probably is.
That's just his actor name.
Richard Cox. My name's Dick Cox. Yeah, man. I really like him as an actor, though. I think he's great. That Daredevil series on Netflix, I am wondering how Marvel is gonna top that, because I thought that was a really good fucking show.
Didn't they announce the 3rd season of it?
Oh yeah. The worst part about the Netflix show is Matt Murdock's friend Foggy, and he's not terrible, but he's just like in every episode, and he's the worst part.
Yeah, so it's
constant. Yeah, so he's constantly there. But man, that show, it goes some pretty fucking dark places. Do you have of those Marvel Netflix shows? Do you have any that you were like, fuck, that's a great show?
Actually, did not watch them.
You didn't watch them?
What?
Dude, Punisher will turn your brains into shit. It's fucking great.
That's what Renee, my girlfriend's brother, said, that Punisher season 2, I believe is what he said, is the best season of TV.
Yep, he's right. He's right. It's pretty fucking intense.
I've actually just recently started Daredevil.
Oh,
because I haven't seen it.
It's good too.
So once I get through with that, I'm sure Punisher will be what I go to next.
What a great pilot. Right, the first episode
of Daredevil?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Get you into it. But then what they do, they did Jessica Jones.
I watched that one.
I didn't watch that. Or Iron Fist.
That one's awful.
They did another one. They did Luke Cage. Did Luke Cage get a standalone, or was he in Defenders?
Yeah, he got a standalone. Wait, what was it?
I know what they are, but I didn't watch them.
Because I did watch Luke Cage. I did not watch Defenders.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them. I remember me and Renee started Daredevil when it first came out, and we were staying up with it, and then we fell out, and then we went back when season 2 was out, but then she crushed season 1 and 2 without me.
Ooh.
So then I fell out of it. So now I got to watch it by myself.
Yeah. Man, I can't urge you enough, check out Punisher. It is, of all of
Would you say skip on like 6 episodes maybe into Daredevil? You saying just skip it, go Punisher first?
I think the first season of Daredevil is outstanding, but Punisher is better. Like, it's a better show.
Did they do a season 3 of Punisher?
Do what?
They do a season 3 of Punisher?
No, I don't think so. But my God, man, John Bernthal
he's great.
as the Punisher, he's incredible in it, man. And it is, of all of the Marvel property shows that have ever existed, it is by far the darkest. Like, it is.
Oh, nice.
It's gritty.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I imagine it would be. And if they pulled it off well, then it's
just a murderous psychopath. But you're kind of pulling for him, which is weird.
Yeah, and that's the best way. That's how you know there's good writing. Whenever there's a villain, or what most people would consider a villain as the main, but then you're empathizing with him.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like Thanos. Like, he was the villain who wanted to kill half of everybody, but there's a good chunk of people who are like, he's right.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He's making some good points.
right. Making some good points, because I also wouldn't mind to kill half the people. Just joking. Yeah, man, as far as those Marvel shows go, for my money, I think Punisher's the best one, which is weird because I decided I was going to binge it one year for Thanksgiving because I got up at like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning to smoke a turkey, and I just watched the whole fucking season on my phone.
You know, you can just buy those pre-cooked.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man. It was a damn good turkey, though. Just time consuming, long time smoking turkey.
Was that the same year you had your girl smoke that mac and cheese? Was it that year?
No, I think that was the last time we had Thanksgiving here. She did that. That shit was good.
That was the in-town house.
Oh, that was the in-town house?
Whenever I remember that, yeah.
Maybe then.
After you gutted the sunroom.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was that time. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you about that mac and cheese, though.
Smoked mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese.
Bruh. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I love smoking various foods. You just had a smoked onion? No. You hit it with a little Pam and some seasoning, throw it on the smoker, put a toothpick skewer in it so it doesn't fall apart. Oh, man, once the onion's cooked and it starts to fucking sweat, kind of sops up that oil and that seasoning digs into it with the smoke. Fucking great.
Give me some of that.
I love onions anyway, though. What you got? Anything else you've been fucking digging into, or anything else you're planning on getting into?
I'll probably check out that new Rick and Morty if you've checked it out. Maybe.
Oh, I have not checked it out yet.
I haven't checked it out either.
Is it out though?
Yep. First episode or two's out of the season. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to get into it. I thought that I really like Rick and Morty. I really like the writing. I think it's very funny. I think that the fandom bothers me more than anything else about the show.
I think that's how a lot of series and sagas are. Like, a lot of stuff that is good is just blown out of proportions from the fan.
Yeah.
Whether it's something that's pretty good and then the fans just, you either have to say it's great or you're getting killed.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's weird. I think it's a fine show. I think it's very funny. I think seasons...
I feel like the way it was done was so good.
What season is it on now? Is it 5?
I'm not for sure. That sounds right. 5 sounds right.
Yeah, one of the seasons was like, not quite as good. And then the last season that came out, I thought I was like, okay, we're back to original recipe. This is good stuff.
I just felt like it was something that, even though it wasn't out long, it just got an instant cult following somehow.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the writing, to me, I mean, it is well-deserved. It is some of the best writing on TV.
Well, the animation's delightful, too. I mean, how long has it got to take to draw all those different spaceships and aliens and, like, workshop and all that shit?
Yeah, I wonder.
That's fucking hilarious, man. That's good stuff, though. I really enjoy the art style and stuff like that. Let's see here. Oh, I'm looking forward to, I'm going to get Splatoon 3 this week, I think. Looking forward to that. It's a game I never really thought I would be into, and then your brother was like, oh man, you got to get Splatoon 2, and I got it and was like, actually, this game is fucking sick. So I haven't seen the trailer for it yet.
Yeah,
I think I'm just going to
pull the trigger. And for a lot of people who look at that game, it honestly probably wouldn't seem like a game for most, but is just a fun, easy to play kind of third-person shooter.
Yeah,
or
yeah. It's weird, man, because it's like, it is one of those games where I can play and just absolutely get the floor mopped.
And still have fun.
And still have fun. Yeah, it can get just absolutely destroyed game after game after game, and it's still fun. I don't mind.
I feel that's the difference between it and a lot of games. Some games delve crazy into the competitive aspect, which, I mean, there's a time and place for every game. But Splatoon does it like so well that it's a competitive game, but it's just lighthearted and fun. It's not,
right.
You know, you're not wrecked because it doesn't go off the kills. Like, you can get kills and kill the other team, but that's not the point system.
You just paint the map, and whatever team has more of the map painted at the end wins, which is a blast.
Yeah,
it's like really fun to do. Yeah, that's. Do you have anything else you wanted to pepper in there, Dave?
I don't think so.
I know it's a little bit shorter episode. It's a little bit shorter on purpose. We fucked.
We'll just get it out there.
No.
We banged. It was 15 minutes.
Oh, one more thing that I did want to mention.
Jackie.
Is,
one more thing.
Yeah. There's one more thing I wanted to mention. It's Just a Movies brought to you by Manscaped. Don't forget to trim your Morbius so you when it's Morbin time, you're looking
extra sleek,
extra smooth, like a Matt Smith vampire face, as opposed to a Michael Morbius,
like a rubber bat.
Yeah, like a rubber Batman. Manscaped. It's Just Two Movies brought to you by Manscaped. Number one in men's grooming. Obviously, it's like 6 million dudes getting down on some Manscaped. Roughly 12 million testicles. You can use our code 2movies to get free shipping and 20% off at manscaped.com. That is 20% off of free shipping at manscaped.com. Code the number 2 movies, no space, just 2 movies, manscaped.com. They sent us some great free trial packages. I know I still wanted to give them the ad space for it, but I am about wrapped up on this episode because we do want to keep it so short. Do you have any Manscaped stuff that you would like to be like, actually, I used this thing and it was for me or not for me? Or
yeah, actually, I forget what it's called. It might be the ball toner. It's their chafing lotion type stuff. I use another brand I won't say, but the other brand worked fine. But I use this brand, and it works great. Works just as good. It does what it's supposed to do. Anti-chafe. You just put it on. You sweat as much as you want at work, and then you're not rubbing raw.
Fucking dry balls, baby. Dry balls.
Dry balls, no rubbing raw.
I used to work with this jackass. He'd be like, no sweat off my balls. But there's literally no sweat on your balls if you've got that fucking ball toner, baby.
Got it.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Outstanding trimmer. Just great fucking products. If you need to take care of your hygiene, which, you do, go do it through Manscaped. Get yourself a thing. Use the code. It supports you supporting the company that supports us helps us. So we certainly do appreciate that. So we're gonna have to cut that one a little bit short. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for telling a friend.
Listen next time.
Yeah. If you want to contact the show, it's Just Two Movies on Twitter, Instagram, or it's justtwomovies@gmail.com. You can always write us in to email for the show. You can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/itsjusttwomovies. You can find other episodes of the podcast wherever you found this one, or if you don't subscribe to anything and you're tired of listening to ads through Spotify or wherever you listen, the show is always free on our website. It's justtwomovies.com. Dave, you have anything else you want to plug before we get the hell out of here?
Nothing off mind.
Okay, that'll work. So, as we say at the end of every episode of It's Just Two Movies,
Scooby-Doo!
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk! We're a one-eyed Batman!
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, businesses are booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
I just wanted to throw out a couple of special thanks for the folks that make this show possible. Big thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams, Lamplighter Production for our artwork, Godsized Growing for some musical guest appearances, and Dave, who's our YouTube editor. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything any of these amazing people are working on, all of their links are in the description for this episode. If you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at It's Just Two Movies. We've got a Facebook page now, so that's on there. You can always leave us a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, and if you like the show, like, subscribe, leave us a review. That stuff helps tremendously.
I did, yeah, I absolutely did.
All right,
yeah, good ear.